I'd rather have a flat image when you get to post, when you get to color grading. I can make contrast.
Yeah.
I can't restore blown out highlights. I can't make picture where where you haven't recorded anything, where it's just black.
Yeah.
If you're below a certain threshold, there's nothing to pull out. So I'd much rather have, for color grading, a flatter image.
Hey,
and then you know, and what's even cooler is when the DP emails you Photoshop pictures or even JPEGs and goes, this is kind of what I want it to look like. So then you have this nice flat image and you have an idea of what he was shooting for. We always look at the dailies too.
Yeah, it's cool because like in Red Cine, you can always, or Red, you can always go in post, right there on the set, have somebody tweak a one pass on it, grab a snapshot of that raw file as a snapshot to be able to show in post, say this is the look I was trying to achieve, and then for him, it's probably a lot easier to achieve that for what you're doing once you have a reference of what they're looking at.
When you are actually looking at like at somebody up close, and then you actually have sky in the background, go to your zebras, and they'll tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
So if you work off your zebras, which is, you can also just make it a user key on your optics, on the EVF and stuff, and then you're able to just punch it, see where your zebra's at, so you can give that, because your histogram or your RGB is not going to give you that clipping exactly to where you're going to see it. If you ever look at the histogram, what I learned from Jim Gennard is that there is the very far right-hand side, there's a yellow bar that goes up and down right there. If you look at that and adjust everything, I would go to your Luma histogram in order to figure that out. Your RGB is not going to tell you that, it's just going to tell you your color wave. But if you go into that, the Luma histogram, it's going to tell you, you're going to see that come up and clip. But you might be up at the top of that histogram, go into your zebras, and then you're going to be able to give it that little bit of touch. And when those zebras almost are away, they're actually still there. It's still there.
It's still clipping.
No, it's still, if you close it down, bringing it down a little bit, that Luma's not, that histogram's not totally clipping, then everything's still going to be there. You're still going to see detail in the sky. It's when you clip, and then once you get past that one clipping point, it's gone.
Yeah.
So go with your zebras, and that will tell you exactly what's going to be there and what's not going to be there.
Yeah.
So
what other zebras in it on the IRE?
What's that? 98 to 108 on your yeah.
Can you adjust?
91
Yes, you
to
can.
108?
94 to 108 on your high. They say don't even worry about your low IRE, and you can go in there and change it, play with it. But Red says this is what the setting is for the zebras. So 94 to 108.
Do you think there's a little
Clip
latitude?
keys in the zebras, right, at 94.
Yeah,
But you can set it to clip at anywhere you want between there.
correct.
Have you? Do you feel? I felt like there's still a little room even above the 108 area. Like
There's a little bit of room, but
a little bit. You're right there.
you're really pushing it there. You're really pushing it because you got to treat this as a film camera, guys. It's not a F900, and that's where on the Red User Group, it's like they got all these. That's why I don't post. It's like this is like, you know, the Epic. I mean, but like the F900. This is, you know, what's the difference between this and
video
the
cameras.
yeah, to, you know, the F23, the D20 and stuff. As long as you treat this like a film camera, it's going to treat you like you're shooting film, and that's why you get that grainy look, and you get you have some adjustment stuff. You know the difference between the, you know, your colors and everything. When you get into the high def world, it totally changes for you, and you have to. It's like reinventing the wheel. And there's Randy. Him and I came across some things like with the Red Cine. You know, just being able to just view. I'll let Randy talk a little bit more about that because you guys need to know about the inside scoop on the Red Cine, and if you're trying to do anything in there with it, it's really just a.
I would not use Red Cine after you get off set. On set, it's awesome. Red Rush is the most stable right now for exporting out. Red Alert is awesome for what it can do, but Red Cine, you can get a full timeline, look at all of them the same, check histogram, slate to slate, make sure the shot's there. As far as I would use the program for.
Red City.
Yeah, and they're all free download. And you can.
It's more about just reviewing all of the natural artifacts and stuff, and to thumb through that. They had Red Check before, which was really easy just to verify everything. There's no corrupted files and stuff, and just be able to get through it. Now when you go on to Build 17, just drop it, import your R3D files and just view it on a timeline and call it good, and then you're there.
Yep. And I think you're saying that it's only going to cut down, like you're going to see half resolution or something like that. Red Cine will play back, but it's only going to play back. It'll play back in full on like a quarter, or is it higher? I think quarter res, it'll play back full. But even if you view the full, it's going to play like one frame.
Depends what your computer is too.
Yeah.
My laptop is, I have to really,
On set.
yeah, really slow.
Yeah, on set you're not going to really see the full anyway. But Red Cine, you shouldn't really be using that to look at the full resolution anyway. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know what other guys are
I
doing
basically,
that.
Red Cine and stuff I use as a means for the DP to get a look, the director to get a look, tweak a look there, grab a snapshot of it, then dump all your footage hard drive, then go to post and transcode and do your one pass there and make it look the way you want it to look.
What's going to happen to these cameras a couple of years from now when the other cameras,
Epic?
when they start hitting them,
Well,
hitting the ground?
Is Rick giving 100% trade? Rick's supposedly giving 100% trade.
they are doing some deals, and I don't know where the cutoff happens with what number camera it is. It might have happened at when they announced the Epic camera. That might be the cutoff. Whatever was out there, everything before that was going to get their trade-in value. It could be the first 1,000. I don't know yet what the deal is. I know I'm good because I got an early camera, but every camera has a depreciation. They all depreciate over time. Because they announced Epic doesn't mean Epic's going to be here when they say it's going to be here. When they announced this, it was still a year after I think they said it was going to be here. It came out. It was quite a while. So they're ahead of the game. I mean, they have all the technology. They know how to make this happen. So making the Epic probably isn't as big a leap as starting from scratch with a new camera. There's going to be a huge depreciation factor once the Scarlett comes out, which is a little bit disappointing for me because I think Scarlett comes out before Epic comes out because they're working harder on Scarlett. To be able to have this 4K camera and then be able to have your hands on a 6K camera for $3,000, it's a little bit of a kick in the butt,
You think it'll be at the NAB?
Oh no, they're not even going to be at NAB. Red's not even going to be there. I was there yesterday. I talked to them. I guess they figure that they don't have anything other than what's on the website to show anybody. So why go there with a bunch of shells like they had with the Red one originally the first year? And just be a lot of people frustrated and asking questions that they're not going to answer anyway.
How much as seen here, does this rig cost?
Oh, this sitting here,
Yeah.
like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot more than it costs to go buy the red body at Red.
Okay.
There's probably. Let me do some math in my head real quick.
This is like your camera.
Yeah, this
right?
is mine.
Yeah,
I think, but I have a lot more stuff than just this. But with what's in those cases and this,
Okay.
it's probably pushing 80,000.
80K,
somewhere
okay.
in there. Yeah.
That's a good guess.
I actually did really well on that lens. It's an older lens, but I was very picky about this lens. I bought it from Claremont, and Claremont is really good to me. I know the guys at Claremont, and I projected several lenses, and I know the guys there, the lens guys, and they actually set this lens up. I mean, it's crisp, yeah. And so they gave me a pretty sweet deal on that lens. But that lens on the open market used would probably be $15,000 or so just for the lens, for that old used lens.
What is it based
But
on?
new,
Okay.
that lens is probably $50,000, $60,000.